time to get things underway. It was an absolute disaster of chaos coming through turn number 1 yesterday. Can they clean it up today? We'll see how it goes. Drivers will need to get on the binders a little bit earlier, not hammer so quickly into that corner. So many drivers taking the escape route, a ton of damage, and we're at it. Green, green, green for USF Pro 2000. They are rolling right now with the VP Racing Fuels Grand Prix of Portland. Big move to the inside for D'Orlando, up on top of the curbing. Did they get through cleanly? So far, so good. Everybody over the curbing coming through 2. Out of 3, it pinches on the exit as well. Much better run through the festival chicane here on a Saturday afternoon. Big start for D'Orlando. He goes out nicely, and I want to say it's Liram Zendelli, I think, up into the 2nd spot. Zendelli goes to P2. Miles Rowe slots into 3rd. How big would that be for Miles Rowe as he now has a P3 position? Looks to me like Kiko Portal falling back into the 5th spot. So the opening action always hectic in the first lap, although 30 laps a long distance. Tire deg definitely going to play a factor near the end of the day, end of the race here. And how about 2 wide, a little deeper back? Look at this. Jack William Miller going to run down the bottom of the racetrack. He's being challenged. Look at this. Side by side with the number 7 of Bajoy Garg. They're going at it coming down the back straightaway. We saw drivers have trouble coming through this part of the track in IndyCar and qualifying. It doesn't take that much to drop a wheel. We'll give you a full field rundown when they come across the line, but look at how hectic it is further back. Wow. And again, this is the top level of our program, USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. We have higher expectations for these drivers. We expect more. They've got the experience. Many have been to Portland more than once, so they know the racetrack a little bit more. And indeed, we do have a lot of rookie drivers coming in that are maybe, again, at the end of the season, trying out the program, jumping up from USF 2000 to get a sample for next year. But for by and large, the drivers up front are veterans. There are guys that have won races. They've won championships. Michael D'Orlando, USF 2000 champion. Liram Zendelli, a winner at Road America. Miles Rowe, multi-time winner on the season. Nikita Johnson coming off a victory as well at COTA. He's won in all 3 levels of the program. Kiko Portal's a former USF 2000 champion. He's won 2 of the last 3 races. Again, you go back to Jace Denmark, a winner in USF 2000 last year. This is essentially the all-star show of the USF Pro Championships. So many of these drivers have come up through our ranks. Some come over from series like GB3 or the FR Americas program. But indeed, these are the best of the best in terms of the USF Pro Championships. Look at how lined up they are coming out of 12. D'Orlando, I spoke to him and before the race, and he knows really all he can do is get out there, lead as many laps as he possibly can, and win this race. Fast lap would be a bonus. Nice to have the extra bonus point there. Qualified on the pole, so there's a bonus point there as well. He's trying to go max points. He's trying to get 66 points to cap it off, because if he does that, he may even find himself up into 3rd, maybe even 2nd in the championship, primarily 3rd. I think 2nd's actually under reach, but he could get to 3rd, and that's the battle. He, De Alba, and Zendelli, all with a shot potentially at finishing 3rd in the championship. Coming through the final couple of corners, the 6, 7, 8 combo lead back onto the straightaway through turn number 9, and we'll roll them back out here again. It was just 0.6 of a second. D'Orlando over Zendelli. He got a great start, Zendelli did, able to work his way forward. Remember, Liram Zendelli started back in 6th, but somehow came out with 2nd. Although all the drivers gave each other room. You saw the start. D'Orlando did not roll the dice like he did yesterday, cut the course coming through and had to go to the tail of the field. He was all up against the wall, over top of the entry apex of turn number 1 to give himself lots of room to get over to turn number 2. You don't need to be on the inside at 2 to get the lead coming out of the corner, because as you come out again, you're just kind of rolling out to the outside. You're going to have the inside for 3. Field settling in. Let's come back again to Quinn Armstrong here right now. Quinn, you watched the opening couple of laps here. Overall, very similar to what we saw in USF Juniors. I would say you guys were probably the cleanest racing of all the 3 series this year. And I'm not going to throw these guys under the bus, but you guys did a great job. A lot of green to checker races in USF Juniors. But the hecticness of that start, did it remind you of any of the races throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a little bit in COTA we started to get a bit more chaotic for sure.
You did, yeah, end of the season.
Yeah, it's end of the season. Everyone's fighting for something. Everyone wants, has something to prove.
Yep.
Myself included. So for sure, there's instances where it can get a little bit out of hand, and, certain characteristics are in other series as well.
Based on what we saw yesterday, a much cleaner start, though, thankfully, right? There was a lot of work to be done last night. Let's say that, folks. I know that we have a shorter day today. We really had our autograph sessions earlier in the day, just the 2 races this afternoon. Same thing for tomorrow. Yesterday was a long day. Our crews were in here probably 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning for the first practice session. We went all the way to the end of the day. There were teams here probably till 10, 11 o'clock at night last night getting their cars done. So luckily they got a chance to kind of to get some rest through in the morning and then get back at it here, because a lot of work was to be done. There was so much carnage in turn number 1 and 2 through the festival at the start of yesterday's race. A ton of damage, a lot of money getting spent. People making the walk over to Carl Haas Auto to buy carbon fiber parts for sure. So watching this battle up front again, seeing what kind of a lap time we have. 8/10 now for Michael D'Orlando. Last time by, both he and Zendelli turning 10.4s, 1:10.4s. Fastest driver was actually a 1:10.3 for Nikita Johnson. He is rolling right now, Nikita. A 1:10.3 fast driver on the racetrack right now. Salvador de Alba, not sure what happened to Salvador, but he's down into 17th. All the way to the back, and he's like the 3rd or 4th fastest driver at a 1:10.5. So De Alba, not sure what happened to Salvador. Back to the tail of the field. Tough one for the Mexican again. He's trying to battle out for 3rd in the points, and the guy he's fighting with is out fronting, leading right now. So this is not playing well for De Alba in the championship battle, as he is only 18 points up on D'Orlando coming into this race. So Michael D'Orlando trying to get himself to P3 in this championship. We'll see what De Alba's able to do, though. He's got the pace to work his way back forward. Fell all the way back behind his teammates Lindsey Brewer and Avery Town. So watch him to get aggressive coming back through. He was 3.3 seconds back. His lap time of 1:10.5. So, yeah, he'll be able to get up to Brewer and Towns in I think, pretty short order. Brewer in her 2nd year in the season and in the program here had a really good run here last year. Her pace anywhere between a half a second to a second off the leaders in her 1st year in this category. She's improved quite a bit throughout the year as well in that C4 Smart Energy machine. Brewer, the driver out of California. Grew up in Colorado, raced top-level shifter karts in the Superkarts USA Pro Moto Tour back in the day, the Stars of Karting days as well. Big space out in the front drivers here, not seeing kind of the battle we saw in USF 2000. Big run here, though, I think, early on for Miles Rowe, because he's running in 4th spot, Kiko Porto in 5th. Anything in the top 8, I believe, locks it in for Miles Rowe. If he finishes in front of Kiko Porto, it's done. So as he runs on the racetrack, Miles Rowe would be your champion in the USF Pro 2000 category. And again, that's big. We're talking about the scholarship that would allow him to move into Indy next year, the category, and the scholarship, the Discount Tire Scholarship Program, valued over $664,000 for Miles Rowe to move up to Indy Next in 2024. And I'll tell you, there'll be a lot of eyes on that young driver to Brooklyn, New York. Could he become the first ever African-American to win an open wheel championship? We'll see. It could be today. D'Orlando came in wanting to get the championship as well, but man, it was a tough start to the season for Michael D'Orlando. Turned things around midway through, though. Almost starting with a 3rd place finish at the first round at Indianapolis, but then he won at Road America, he won at Mid-Ohio, he won in Toronto, and really struggled a bit. Had a couple of rough finishes at COTA. This would be big for him to finish off strongly with a couple of race wins. Again, D'Orlando, young American, USF 2000 champion last year. Really focused on trying to see if he can't keep turning heads. They struggled to put the budget together to finish the season. They are here at the finale. You don't know what's going to happen for the future for D'Orlando, but I think he's more than proved what he's able to do on the racetrack. Again, USF 2000 championship winner last year, multi-time winner here as a rookie in USF Pro. If somehow they'd be able to come up with the backing and the investors to come next year, you'd have to think he'd be the ultimate driver to go for the championship with a full season behind the belt, the experience to run in this category, this level. But as Quinn said earlier, man, this thing's so much about budget. Quinn, you know, we had Brady Golan, your teammate, on here a little bit ago for USF 2000. There's so many factors to racing. The stuff you do on the track, maybe 25 to 30% of it. It's social media, it's interviews, it's sponsors, it's the fitness side, the health nutrition side as well. But again, you can be as good as you can win all these races, but if you don't have the budget to do it, you're on the sidelines, right? So really that's something I'm sure you're learning as well, having to kind of search down sponsors and see what you can do in terms of putting together partners.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very cutthroat business, if you will. everyone's putting in so much work behind the scenes. You know, it's what you see at the track is only really the surface of it. You know, whether they're winning or they may not even be in the top 10, whatever. I'm, you know, pretty confident that every driver is putting in so much effort behind the scenes to keep these things rolling and keep showing up to these race weekends.
So racing's like an iceberg, essentially, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a comparison you can make.
So much stuff below the surface, behind the scenes, as you said, and we talk a lot about fitness as well. We know these drivers have to dial things in. I asked Brady Golan this. I don't know if you've ever done double duty like this. What do you think about Nikita Johnson doing 25 laps in the 2000 and then jumping up to the pro for 30 laps? That guy is going to be shattered when this day's all done.
Yeah, no, it is very impressive. I've got to admit, you know, it is a lot of driving to do, and these cars are not easy to drive. You know, the 2000 is one step, and then the USF Pro is a whole nother step. You know, I've done double duties in go-karts, but this is not comparable to a go-kart, I'm sure. You know, it's definitely a very physically demanding car, and when you add in the addition of the USF 2000 race, like literally right before, then
right before,
for sure, it's going to be a sore night tonight.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have any trouble falling asleep when they get him back to the hotel. And for those of you trackside, you maybe want to know the difference between the cars you just saw, USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. It's the same basic chassis, the same car that Quinn drives in the USF Juniors category. It's the same Pattis tub, but on this particular car, the bodywork a little bit different as we have more aerodynamics, the rear wing with a dual element rear wing, so a lot more downforce. You'll see visually the tires are a lot wider as well, a different damper package, a more aggressive braking package, and 80 more horsepower. We go from 170 horsepower in USF 2000 to 250 in these cars here in the USF Pro 2000 class. So just essentially more of everything and a lot harder to drive. No power steering in these cars, so really active in terms of the driver, the strength they need in the upper body, and not just the brute strength. You're not just talking about powerlifting. It's more sustained holds, sustained Gs. So a very specific set of workouts that they do. There are a number of different gyms that focus right on motorsports, Pit Fit being one. You see a lot of Jim Leo's program in the media. Drivers like Scott Dixon, James Hinchcliffe all work out at that Tony Kanaan for sure as well at Pit Fit in Indianapolis. So again, the focus that these drivers have on fitness, especially coming up through the ranks. As Quinn said, every car's a little bit more in terms of the demands, strength-wise and longevity-wise. So it's interesting to see. Quinn, have you tested? How much have you driven the USF 2000 car? I'm sure you've been behind the wheel a couple of times.
Yeah, I've turned a fair amount of laps.
So how much tougher is it than the juniors car? I wouldn't say that much because it's really only about 30 more horsepower.
Yeah, I don't believe the step is too insane from the juniors to the USF 2000. I have not driven USF Pro, however, which, from what I've heard, you know, from stories of other people that have, you know, made the step, then yeah, I've heard a lot of things about how much more physically demanding it is. You know, the corner speeds are high. Obviously, you said no power steering, so more corner speed with no power steering.
That's
it just makes it way harder.
Hold on, right? Exactly that. 10 laps down, and again, think about this. We're only a third of the way through this one. These drivers are digging in hard here right now. D'Orlando, Zandelli, Johnson, Rowe, and Portal, the top five. We may get another battle for second spot, and this is, to me, is crazy. Remember, Nikita Johnson fought so hard from fourth, got by Matt Clark on the final lap to go to third to get himself onto the podium. He didn't come to that podium because he went right to his race car. There's an opportunity for him to get another podium here. He's running right now in third. He already has a back-to-back third place finishes if he finishes where he is on the racetrack. That would be amazing if he was able to get two of those, because I think that for Nikita, talk about making a huge statement. Last year ran in USF Juniors. Took him a little while to get that first victory later in the season, but he got the job done and was in the championship battle as well there. This year as a rookie in USF 2000, he's won already. Won in the opening round at St. Petersburg, his home race, as he's from nearby Gulfport, Florida. So he wins in the opening race. We see him then kind of dial things in throughout the year and really had a strong season in that category, did Nikita Johnson. Again, looking to potentially work his way into second place in points. Only the one win, but I want to say 6 or potentially 7 podium finishes on the season. And here he is already with a victory in USF Pro 2000 coming last week. And if he's able to turn this thing around and get a couple of podiums here today to show what he's got, this is, to me, a young driver that a lot of people are going to be looking at here. Because when you're in USF Pro, remember, you're only 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. Juniors, you're 4 or 5 steps away, right? It's a long way away. Still, lots of way to go. But these drivers here, this is where Pato Award was a couple of years ago. Kyle Kirkwood, David Malukas, Rinus VK is a former USF Pro champion, as is Kirkwood, as we know. Pato Award came so close to winning the championship a number of years ago. But this is it. These drivers are right there, dialing themselves in, just getting that final little tuning before going to Indy next. That's the beauty of this program here. It gets these drivers all ready to go. They run so many IndyCar weekends that they know the tracks as well. St. Petersburg, Indianapolis, Road America, Mid-Ohio, as we know. Here at Portland, Toronto, the streets of Toronto as well. Here comes that battle further back. Nikita Johnson showing a bit of a nose to the inside of Liram Zandelli. Quinn, what do you think about Miles Rowe right now? He's P4. You might want to be on the podium, but I think for him, I'd cruise it home to P4, win that championship, and say, this is done. We're going into next racing.
Yeah, for sure. You always got to look at the risk versus reward of things. And, you know, the position he's in at the moment is looking very good. Obviously, the points gap and margin to Kiko is quite large. So
trouble right there. Sorry to cut you off. Trouble for Zandelli. He tried to block. He overcuts it. And in comes Nikita Johnson to go to P2. But you're right. Risk reward 100%. He didn't want to get involved in maybe the incident involved in front of him. But it's kind of, the door's kind of been open. There's Nikita Johnson rolling through to second. Zandelli now getting challenged by Rowe. This actually doesn't play well for Rowe to a certain extent, because here comes Kiko Porto now. Although Rowe only needs to finish in the top 8, I believe, to secure the championship. And that's only if Kiko Porto wins. So already, once we get a couple more laps through here and D'Orlando has the most laps led, that's even easier for Rowe, because essentially Kiko needed every point possible for it even to be an 8th place finish for Rowe. So indeed, if there's trouble, although Rowe is by to 3rd. Indeed, Miles Rowe has gone to P3. Zandelli goes back to 4th. 5th is Porto, 6th Denmark, 7th Garg, 8th Brown, 9th Miller, 10th Pizzi. So Liram Zandelli, who was running second just a lap ago, finds himself now down in 4th. And we're just closing on the halfway point. Trying to pick up fast time right now. We got a couple of drivers in the 109s. No, just one in the 109. Two, pardon me. Indeed, a 109.967 for D'Orlando, 109.965 for Miles Rowe. He has the fast lap of the race. Miles Rowe with the fast lap of the race right now, not by much over D'Orlando. These cars are going to keep getting lighter, folks, and these Cooper tires, very consistent throughout the run, so expect to see a fast lap coming late in the race. Quinn, you ran on the Cooper tires all season long last year as well in the Ligier this year, in the debut of the Tatis JR23 in the USF Juniors program. You were able to run on Cooper tires. You couldn't have pressed them much harder than last weekend in the temperatures that we have. What kind of tire deg did you have at a track like COTA? 20 corners, a lot of long radius corners. Was there a lot of tire deg from start to finish?
Yeah, for sure. They were put to their limits. You know, we found that towards those ends of those stints, you know, your race 3s at the very end when it's peak temp, the track's hot, it's greasy, as you say, long corners, which, you know, build up that temp and really work the tire. For sure, there was a bit of fall off, a bit of degradation there. So it definitely was a thing you had to factor in, because if you can sort of save a little bit at the start, you might have a bit to give in the end. You know, it's part of the game.
And there's a lot of long duration corners here. As we know at Portland, it's a long race. Only 1.9 miles is the circuit length. So 30 laps in total for the drivers here in USF Pro. And again, that just makes it so much more impressive for Nikita Johnson, potentially doing 55 laps of racing here this afternoon. He runs P2. He was only about 0.2 of a second off of D'Orlando last time by. Still, though, fast lap belongs to Miles Rowe with a 109.965, just 0.02 of a second faster than Michael D'Orlando. D'Orlando would love that point as well. Remember, he's trying to battle it out with Salvador De Alba for 3rd in the championship. De Alba now back up to in the 14th spot. He's been able to get by Avery Towns, Lindsey Brewer, and Frankie Mossman. De Alba last time by was 0.4 quicker than Lucas St. Jean and only 0.4 back. So watch for De Alba, I think, coming across the line now to try to make that pass as well. De Alba trying to line him up. He's right there with him. Here he is coming into the corner now. De Alba, I don't think quite close enough to get by. Potentially. Yeah, there he goes. So De Alba does get through. Salvador De Alba is by. That moves him now up into the 13th spot. We'll see if he can reel in Danny Dzelski. He was quicker by about a tenth, 2/10 from Dzelski last time by. So as you start working your way forward, the drivers are a little bit quicker. So I don't know how much closer or further forward Salvador de Alba can get. 1.3 up to Danny Dzelski. There's Miles Rowe, P3. As he runs on the racetrack, unofficially would be your USF Pro 2000 champion. Came up just short last year in what was a chaotic finale here at Portland, allowed Michael D'Orlando to emerge as the title winner to get that scholarship to come up to USF Pro. This year, though, Rowe has been impressive. How impressive? Only one finish outside the top 10 all year long, and that was an 11th. It wasn't 18th, it was 11th. That was at Mid-Ohio. After that 11th place finish in round number 10, he came right back the next day and went P1. Qualified on pole and won at Mid-Ohio. Backed it up with another win in Toronto, and then, of course, a podium yesterday in second. Looking to wrap it all up here in race number 2 of a triple header. Michael D'Orlando, again, it's just been such an up and down season. You just kind of want to see him get a couple of wins to cap the season off here in style, to have that momentum, have that calling card in the offseason. I've won a bunch of races. Michael D'Orlando coming in already 3 wins. He's won at Road America, he won at Mid-Ohio, he won at Toronto, and today could put a 4th different venue, Mid-Ohio, on the docket as well. So again, for a driver like him in the offseason, when budget's not there, he needed the scholarship last year to be able to move up to pro. Still struggled for the budget needed to cap off the season here this year. Will he be back in 2024? Will we see him potentially move to Indy next? Or will he come back to pro to try to win this championship? He would 100% be the odds-on favorite if he were to come back. Although a number of these drivers we expect to make the jump up to Indy next in 2024. A number of them are doing it already, as we know. Francesco Pizzi running next weekend at Laguna Seca for Able Motorsports. Kiko Porto running next weekend for Cape Motorsports as well. Yuvan Sundaramurthy moved mid-season to Able Motorsports. He ran Nashville, running here at Portland as well. And then, of course, next week as well for Yuvan at Laguna Seca. 2.2 seconds to lead right now for D'Orlando, up on Nikita Johnson. Nikita's closing around to put in 45 laps. Still 12 to go, so maybe 43 laps so far. Man, you got to wonder whether or not he's getting tired. Quinn, what do you think? He's got to be starting to get tired.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on.
The pace still seems to be there, obviously.
Hold on. He was 3/10 quicker than D'Orlando last time by. Come on.
So maybe we're wrong, you know. He's holding on pretty well so far, so I don't know, maybe
it's not like Nikita's ripped or anything like that. Like he's pretty slight. He's not a big kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's younger than me, I believe. So
15 years of age, yeah.
He's 15. He's younger, so it's pretty impressive.
It is, no doubt about it. Again, he's going to be tired by the end of the day, but it's us guys like my age in your early 50s that are kind of saying, man, I'm tired watching this right now. Let's put it that way. But a great job so far for him. Excellent drive. D'Orlando, Johnson, Rose, and Deli Porto top 5. Denmark 6, Garg 7th. Jack William Miller in 8th spot. 9th, Jonathan Brown. 10th, Francesco Pizzi. Salvador de Alba is most definitely closing up on Danny Dzelski. He's now 3/10 quicker, up to only 8/10 back. There's still 10 laps to go. We may see de Alba continue to push. He was 3/10 quicker than Dzelski, a half second faster than Missig, 4 faster than Brown, and almost 2 seconds. He was 2 seconds faster than Jonathan Brown in 9th. So there is an opportunity, still lots of opportunities for Salvador de Alba. He is on salvage mode right now, trying to score as many points as he can, because he's going to be in the battle tomorrow with Michael D'Orlando for 3rd in the championship. Dzelski in the number 44 for Turn 3 Motorsports, his debut here this weekend. Didn't go well yesterday. He got a little too deep into the braking zone, I think, of turn number 1 at the start, and came into the corner. Nikita Johnson coming around, left front to right rear contact. Both drivers involved there, both drivers out. Johnson's come back to run P2. Dzelski now running in 12th. We'll keep an eye on de Alba as he's digging. just turned his fast lap, a 109.955. Last lap, De Alba, the fastest driver on the racetrack. Can he hook up on Dzelski here? I believe there's Rowe coming through. That's third. Zendelli and Porto. There's Zendelli. There's Porto. Right behind them, Jace Denmark and Bajoy Gard. We'll see whether or not De Alba lining up to try to find a way by Dzelski coming down into turn number 1. He's going to have to start getting aggressive. Couple of big laps for him. No, not close enough, I think, coming in here. He'll have to go deep into the braking zone to find a way by. Just 0.3 of a second back on that last lap. You get that close, now you start playing with the aero wash. You're far enough back, you're able to come through the corners with a lot of pace. When you get closer, let's keep it here. Let's see further back. Nope, we're just waiting. Almost got it there. The minute you start getting close. And Quinn Armstrong, let's bring you back in. Quinn Armstrong from D-Force Racing, second place this year in the USF Juniors Championship. A lot less downforce in the juniors cars, right? The same as USF 2000. More mechanical grip than aero grip. But still, you guys deal with it with a slower horsepower car. The minute you get behind somebody, you lose that air off the front wing. You start getting that mid-corner understeer.
Yeah, for sure. We had a little bit of it. You know, we started to encounter it at corners like turn 1 at Mid-Ohio, the carousel, so 16 through 18 at Coda. But I know for a fact that the aero wash in these cars is way more common and way more. You know, it happens in corners that wouldn't happen for us in the juniors package.
Yeah, there's so much more downforce, more of everything, like I say, and a lot more downforce. And again, with that dual element rear wing as well, it gets more turbulent air at the back of the car. So you just lose that air off the front wing. You often have to move your line a bit to try to get a little bit of air over one of the end plates on the wing. De Alba, half a second back last time by. Laps ticking away. 8 more to go for Michael D'Orlando. A 1.8 second lead over Nikita Johnson. 47 laps straight now for Nikita. 8 more to go to get him to 55. There's D'Orlando, Johnson, Rowe, P3, lots of room. 8 laps, 7 laps be it, away from a USF Pro 2000 championship. The young driver from Brooklyn, New York. What a storyline it's been. Part of the drive for quality and change. That opportunity to run with Force Indy. Will Power, when they were trying to select the driver they wanted to put in the Force Indy program a couple of years ago in USF 2000, a one-off program they ran themselves, a one-car effort. Will Power, who spends a lot of time down at what is now Trackhouse Motorplex, a kart track in Mooresville, North Carolina, looked at Miles Rowe and said, this kid's got it. This is a kid I think that has it. They put together a private test with Cape Motorsports on the road course in Indianapolis. He impressed a bunch of people. Of course, Coach Rod Reed, part of Force Indy. So yeah, let's do it with this kid. And they made it tough on him, to be honest. I'll say this, a one-car effort back in 2020 was not easy for him. And he had to really dig in to get the job done. Last year, of course, a big run in 2021 was the first year. 2022 with Pabst Racing. Still had that Force Indy badging, but they worked with Pabst Racing, a better program for him. And he really stepped up. Did have some issues at the start of the season. Really didn't have the budget to keep going. Had a big crash at the opening round at St. Petersburg, but fought back the next race and won. That was, I think, a really good show of the character. The issue, the wreck in the race number 1, coming back in race number 2, just tremendous. From there, able to fight his way into a championship contention. That the struggle here at Portland late last year, but then still able to put the program together to run with Pabst Racing, and he has been a revelation here in 2023. 5 wins on the season, 8 podiums. This would be podium number 9, and only 1 finish outside the top 10 for Miles Rowe. That's what you do when you're trying to win a championship. And again, this championship, not just a championship. The scholarship, as we know, for this program, worth over $664,000, all part of the Discount Tire Scholarship Program. This year, USF Pro Championships presented by Cooper Tires, issuing over $1.6 million in prize money and awards across all the programs. Super excited to have these drivers as part of this program. Big thank you as well to Discount Tire. They have been a great partner here of a first year with us. If you want to be part of nation's largest pit crew, visit discounttire.com to learn more about career opportunities throughout the United States. We'd also like to welcome the students from Portland Chinese Coalition today. They're all part of our High Tide Boat Lifts program, the Kids on Track program. Since 2015, more than 500 children and their mentors have experienced an unforgettable day at the racetrack thanks to High Tide Boat Lifts and the High Tide Boat Lifts Kids on Track program. Five laps remaining, just 5 to go. Jordan Missing putting a lot of pressure here on Francesco Pizzi. That would be for the final position inside the top 10. Missing trying to get himself by Pizzi to go to 10th spot. Again, just the laps ticking away here for Michael D'Orlando. 1.3 last time by. Nikita Johnson's been just chipping away at it. A 10th here, a 10th here. 1.3 seconds back right now with only 5 laps to go. There's another good scrap there as well. That is, I believe, Kiko Porto going to work on Liram Zendelli. That would be for 4th. And we know that Kiko's got to do everything he can, but just where Miles Rowe is running right now, and in fact, the fact that Kiko's not going to win this race, he hasn't got the bonus points. We had said 8th was a guaranteed lock for Rowe. With Porto back where he is, it's significantly farther back. Kiko Porto running in the 5th position. That would put him at 323 points. Rowe in 3rd, 380. So that's 53 points. He only needs to be leading by 33 points at the end of this race. So as they run right now, Rowe in the hot seat. We talked to Nicholas Giaffoni yesterday what it felt like on the cool-down lap. And even now, kind of it's soaking in that he was able to win the championship and the scholarship to move to USF 2000. Simon Sykes, I'm sure, feeling exactly the same thing. When does it actually sink in what you've been able to accomplish over the season and what it means to you for next year to be able to go racing? Michael D'Orlando felt that last year, having won here in USF 2000, topping both Jace Denmark and Miles Rowe. But this year, Miles Rowe, as I said earlier, what a difference a year makes. Coming back, there's been no issues at all. Strong run yesterday to 2nd and potentially 3rd here today. You do what you got to do to get where you want to go. 3 laps to go. Salvador de Alba up into 11th. He was able to get by Dzelski. Let's see where he is on lap number 27. He's by Dzelski and now trying to chase down Francesco Pizzi. So last time by for Pizzi, let's go look at lap times. A 111.06, De Alba 110.4, 0.6 of a second difference, 2.9 seconds back, 3 laps to go. He'd have to be a full second quicker a lap to be able to challenge potentially Pizzi. So De Alba trying to get himself back into the top 10. Again, all the pressure as it stands right now will be off tomorrow on the final Sunday of the 2023 USF Pro Championships calendar. 2 more races as we come the back end of the triple header. USF 2000 champion already locked and loaded for Simon Sykes. And as it appears, as they run on the racetrack right now, Miles Rowe in the position to clinch this championship and make tomorrow all about the fight for 2nd and 3rd in both of the championships. Nikita Johnson not done, though, on the leader, D'Orlando. He's got it down to 0.8 of a second. We talked about fitness. We talked about how you dig hard. You're in the gym. You're going a couple more reps at the end of a set, 2 or 3 more minutes on the treadmill or whatever it may be, because you want to be good over the last couple of laps. When the drivers in front of you are starting to fall out of the seat, their fitness might not be there. You want to have the extra. Nikita Johnson is not at the end of one race. He's at the end of the 2nd race. He's got 53 laps in the books already, and he is starting to put the pressure on D'Orlando. If the fitness side of Nikita Johnson was ever in question, he has removed all doubt. This is amazing. When he comes back around to get lap number 29 here, it'll be 54 race laps, and he is closing. What a testament to young Nikita Johnson, just 15 years of age. Can he make a move for the race win? He was a factor last year as well when he jumped up to USF 2000 for a one-off. They'll come across the line. White flag will fly this time by Johnson. It was 0.8 of a second last time by. What is it now? 0.8 last lap. Starting the penultimate or the final lap, he gets it. down to 0.6. Gained 2 more tenths of a second. Truly incredible run here for Nikita Johnson. Keeps digging, trying to force D'Orlando into that little mistake. D'Orlando's fighting for a top 3 in points. He's not giving up at all. What a race we've had here. Some good battles throughout the field. Some drivers having to dig their way back forward. Drivers up front getting it done. D'Orlando trying to get this win. Johnson digging himself back forward. Miles Rowe, though, a half a lap away from $664,000. The scholarship to go to Indy next in 2024. Coming into the end of the back straightaway. Does Nikita try it? He's not close enough. Out of this corner. Just get through 12. And indeed, the driver is going to come out here as the winner. He's challenged to the very end. Will we get a drag race to the line? We will, but it's not quite enough. Michael D'Orlando just nips Nikita Johnson at the line. He wins today, but we have a new champion in USF Pro 2000, the first ever African-American title winner in open wheel competition. Miles Rowe is your champion for 2023. What a performance for the young driver to Brooklyn, New York. It's going to be some donuts in the festival chicane. Sign your name, young man. You have just made history in open wheel motorsports. Miles Rowe in the Force Indy Pabst Racing number 95. The signature has been laid. Congratulations to Miles Rowe. What a drive. 3rd place, yet another podium finish, yet another top 10. And there are your unofficial results. Michael D'Orlando with a much-needed victory to try to grab 3rd in the championship. Nikita Johnson, 55 laps of racing, a feat in and of itself. Miles Rowe ends up in 3rd. A championship drive for the young man who we'll see next year in Indy next. Liram Zendelli, another great run for TJ Speed. Kiko Porto coming home in the 5th spot. 6th was Jace Denmark, 7th, Bajoy Garg. 8th, Jack William Miller. 9th, Jonathan Brown. And 10th, Francesco Pizzi, as De Alba closed once again to get himself right down there. Very impressive run. And again, you look at the teams as well. Michael D'Orlando, turn 3. Nikita Johnson, VRD. Miles Rowe, Pabst Racing. Liram Zendelli, TJ Speed. Kiko Porto, D-Force Racing. 5 different teams in the top 5 in USF Pro 2000. There are other championships in the world where you know you have to be with a certain team if you want to win. And that's the beauty of our program here. 5 different teams. They've all, think about the race winners as well. All of those drivers have been race winners. D'Orlando, multi-time winner. Johnson at Coda. Rowe, multi-time winner. Zendelli at Road America. Porto, both at here and at Coda. So they've all scored race wins. That's the beauty of this program, and at least one of the great aspects of it. Nonetheless, this win belongs to Michael D'Orlando, and a well-deserved victory for the young man out of Hartsdale, New York. Nikita Johnson, I can't believe what he's put in here. He's going to do it again tomorrow to try to go 55 laps. That is absolutely stellar to me. Amazing for sure. Of course, Victory Lane celebrations coming here momentarily. We're going to grab our drivers, the champions, and take them over to the media center as well. There's Miles Rowe. Digging hard to win this championship. And you think about each one of these drivers and wanting to make that next step and how crucial it is to win that championship, not only for the scholarship, but for the mark on the resume as well. Miles Rowe, again, such a historic championship. As I said before, the first African-American to win an open wheel Formula Car championship. What a drive for him. There's Augie Pabst. What a year for Augie Pabst as well. He fought so hard to try to win that first driver championship. How about 2 driver championships? Simon Sykes in USF 2000, Miles Rowe in USF Pro 2000. Crew coming in. There's Michael D'Orlando. These guys here, although fierce competitors on the racetrack, great fans off the track as well. Last year's USF 2000 champion, this year's USF Pro 2000 champion. Incredible stuff. There's Will Power right there. I told you. Will Power, who helped discover this young driver at Trackhouse Motorplex, a fantastic kart track down that Will Power runs on a regular basis. He saw him there and said, man, this is a kid we need to look at for this new program. There's Coach Rod Reed from Force Indy. They got themselves a hot rod. again for next year to add to Ernie Francis in Indy next. Miles Rowe, what a story, folks. This is huge for Miles. How about that right there? A couple of Pabst Racing champions, Rowe and Sykes. And Simon Sykes is like, hey, that's the car I get to ride next year. That's huge for him. I get to drive your race car next year. He wants to follow in the footsteps for sure. But the celebration down on victory lane, down on pit lane rather. Everybody getting a chance to talk to Miles Rowe. This is big for this young man, big for the team as well, as Pabst Racing has come out as the dominant factor. There's Tim Cindric as well from Penske, Team Penske. Those are the guys you want to have on your corner. Miles, of course, the storyline resonating through all of motorsports. There's Jacob Douglas, 2 times a winner already. Young Max Garcia. We'll see in USF 2000 again next year. That's what we're talking about. Everybody coming. There's Tonis Kasemets, engineer for the team, driver, coach, you name it. He has been around so long. Tonis has a well-respected member of our paddock and, of course, the IndyCar paddock as well. It's going to be tough for Miles to work his way to victory lane through all the well-wishers, all the team members. But I'll tell you, well-deserved for the young driver, folks. It's time to wrap things up. We're going to go to a quick break. Those of you following here on the USF Pro Championships app and on the YouTube channel, stick with us when we get back. We're going to celebrate the win by Michael D'Orlando and a championship for Miles Rowe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get things underway over the drivers in USF Pro 2000, the second race of the triple header, the VP Racing Fuels Grand Prix of Portland. A special one here, of course, today, as you all know, is we have our third championship locked up. USF Juniors already Nicholas Giafoni, USF 2000 already Simon Sykes. And we will crown our champion here in USF Pro here today as well. Finishing in third spot, he's going to be on top of the box in a couple seconds. But have a round of applause for the driver finishing in third, Miles Rowe today. It's what needed to get done. To bring him his third place trophy, one of our guests from VP Racing Fuels, Chelsea Miller, is going to come in and help us here from VP Racing Fuels. Thank you, Chelsea. Hop right up there with him. Let's get a shot with Miles. Again, what a great run for Miles in third spot, getting what he needed to do. Finishing in second. I cannot talk more about this feat for this young driver. 15 years of age. He won his first race in USF Pro 2000 last weekend at COTA. The youngest driver ever to win in USF Pro 2000. He also is the first driver ever to win in Juniors 2000 and USF Pro. And today just went back to back. He just did 55 straight laps. Second place goes to Nikita Johnson from VRD Racing. That is a feat. I can't believe it. Mark Karuba, again, one of our crew here from VP Racing Fuels, is going to bring him his second place trophy. And a great drive for Nikita. And we talked about the fitness side of it as well. He literally was turning the fastest laps almost of everybody on the racetrack over the last couple of circuits. It's just an unbelievable feat for Nikita. He's a driver to watch for the championship next year. This driver, of course, here loves Portland. He won the USF 2000 championship last year. He's been running the USF Pro Championship livery all year and doing so successfully and with pride. A winner here today, folks, for Turn 3 Motorsports, Michael D'Orlando. Michael, you're not done running for third in the championship, but what a year. You know, I know you're not getting the championship, but the wins keep coming. Your fourth different venue on the season. Tell me how good it feels to be back on top of victory lane.
Well, first of all, huge congratulations to Mile and the Force Indy crew. You guys have been spectacular all year. And, yeah, it's been quite a feat trying to race against you guys this year. But, I mean, what a race. I know I've been having not quite the greatest season up and down the whole time, but yeah, it's nice to finally get my fourth win this season at the fourth venue. And you know, I wish it was a little easier because he was on my butt the whole time, really closing in there. But you know, car's a little hard on the tires there. But I'm super proud. You know, it would be could have been a little easier race, but I'm glad I walked away with all laps led. And you know, I'm glad to be up here back on the top step.
Yeah, we'll see if you can do it again tomorrow. Who do you want to thank today?
Huge thanks to Turn 3 Motorsports and Anderson Promotions USF Pro Championships for making this happen. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here this season. Priority Technology Holdings, I mean, and then, of course, my family, mom and dad, you guys have been through me through thick and thin, so thank you so much for everything.
For the fourth time this year, get up on top of the podium. Another win for this driver here. Great job for Michael D'Orlando. Chris Marshall from VP Racing Fuels bringing up yet another first-place trophy for this young driver. Very impressive run. 4th different venue, as I had said. He got into a great run through the middle part of the season. He can win on any kind of racetrack. And D'Orlando looking to try to see if he can't do it again tomorrow to potentially steal away 3rd spot in the points and give him momentum into the offseason, because it's been a tough year for him, as we've said. Some up and downs, a lot of race wins. And again, budget issues, trying to find the money to be able to run the whole entire program. Again, he is a young driver who definitely deserves to move into the Indy Next Series, but part of the motorsports landscape is finding the budget, finding the investors, the finances to be able to keep moving forward. We all know how tough that is. And again, this young American driver, no doubt about it, has shown his mettle over the last couple of years, winning USF 2000 here last year in the championship. And again, fighting tomorrow to see if he can't jump into the top 3. As we know, Miles Rowe locking down that championship. That's what with a trophy that's still waiting in the wings. We'll bring that out here momentarily. But how about another round of applause for the Taste top 3? D'Orlando, Johnson, Rowe. Again, as I always say, these drivers here at the very top level, the USF Pro Championships presented by Cooper Tires, just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. If you've been with us over the past couple of years, you know that Pato Award's been up here. Kyle Kirkwood, David Malukas, Renus VK. Keep going through the ranks of drivers who have been on this part of this program before. Colton Herta, so many drivers who've been part of this USF Pro Championships. Let's get our VP Racing Fuel crew back up here. Again, VP Racing Fuels, the official fuels and supplier of our coolants as well. Great to be working with VP Racing Fuels. We had Bruce Hendel with us at COTA. And again, an iconic name in motorsports, part of the partnership program for the USF Pro Championships. We'll still spray some champagne before we wrap things up, because of course we've got one more trophy waiting in the wings, as I had said. I think we've got our crew from the High Tide Kids on Track group coming in to join us as well. Love it. Hop up on top there, get another photo here with the top 3 drivers from USF Pro 2000. For those of you trackside, you don't need to leave after the NTT IndyCar Series main event race tomorrow. These drivers will be racing again after the main event tomorrow, so don't jump into the traffic. Grab yourself something cold to drink and enjoy some racing in the afternoon after the main event show, and we'll give you a chance to get out there and clear roads to get home. All right, time to bring in the bubbly. And for the penultimate time on the season, still one more shot at it tomorrow. But these drivers here, so good. Of course, reigning champion. Another driver's won a title before, and the driver could be the fighter next year. All part of it. Guys, grip it and rip it. The celebration for Michael D'Orlando. Nikita. Oh, they're like, why are you spraying me with champagne? I got to wear this suit tomorrow. They will celebrate, though, but we're not quite done yet. We have one more to go. We'll get rid of those trophies. We'll get rid of the champagne and the hats. And Miles Rowe, you can stay up on the podium here, because I will come up to chat with you momentarily. A lot of work getting done, as we all know, folks, to make this happen. Let's get started here, folks. We're bringing a champion's hat up here. Miles, how about you jump to the middle part of this podium here? Take that one more step up for me. Get that hat where you need to be. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, how about a round of applause for our champion this year in USF Pro 2000? Let me jump up there with you. Let me jump up here with you. You did it. How does it feel? Last year, I know, right? It's what a difference a year makes. You tried to win the championship last year. This year, it wasn't about one weekend. It was about all the weekends. Your entire body of work, only one finish outside the top 10. Consistency got it done. Give me your emotions on winning this championship. You're going Indy Next Racing in 2024.
Yeah, I'm flustered, man. I mean, all these competitors are so tough, man. And yeah, we knew after last year, finishing second in the championship, especially being so close to taking it, that we had to start off strong. And that's exactly what we did. We put in the work, we persevered, and yeah, we came through. And it's just all thanks, to everybody that supports me, everybody that's out here, watching and you know, pushing me on, down to my family, my mom, my dad for, you know, putting in the blood, sweat, and tears into this. You know, Roger Penske, Penske Entertainment, Force Indy, Paps Racing, Augie Paps, Sparko, Bell Helmets, all of the crew, NXG. Man, it's just it wouldn't be possible without them. I mean, they've really pushed me along. They've really given me such extraordinary support, and yeah, man, I'm just lost for words. It's just extraordinary to be here. It feels almost like it's a 2-year championship from trying to bounce back after last year. So yeah, it's pretty. It took a mental strain on us all, but I'm just so happy to deliver this for the team, for the Paps Racing Force Indy team, and yeah, I'm just thrilled that we get to enjoy it finally.
Miles, congratulations. We got a trophy waiting in the wings. Dan Anderson from Anderson Promotions. Let's bring up a Champions Trophy here for the new title winner of the USF Pro 2000 category, presented by Cooper Tires. Miles Rowe coming back from that battle last year, the disappointment of second here in Portland, and as I said, only one finish outside the top 10. He is your new champion, and we will see him in Indy next in 2024. The champion of the USF Pro 2000 category from Paps Racing, Miles Rowe! And there it is, folks. The celebration will continue throughout the weekend. Those of you tuning live in on the app and the YouTube channel, thank you so much for being part of it. We'll be back tomorrow. Miles Rowe, once again, your champion here in Portland.